Today's lesson on life is Man Abused, My Sexual Orientation. Researchers estimate that more than 19 million men experience sexual abuse in the United States. That's 1 in every 6 males. Today we're breaking one generational curse, talking about what goes on in the family stays in the family. You know I don't like that, so we're going to get rid of that and help one man share his story of abuse. His hope is that his testimony will help other people tell their story, break free of shame, and also find healing. And we know that there is power when we heal our brokenness. Amen. Let's turn now to welcome back to the show Miss Michelle Howard.
Thank you. Thank you.
Michelle is the interviewer, and we're going to hear each week a portion of Alan's story. So now let's hear from Alan.
I have to start from age 5, because I knew age 5, I knew that I was around my family, and they knew I was going to be gay, because I always wanted this long, pink, luxurious hair, which I never had, but that was just the thing that I wanted. I was playing with my cousin's dolls. I didn't play with G.I. Joe dolls. I didn't play with boy stuff. I played with girl stuff.
You said when you were 5, you already knew you were going to be gay. So the fact that you were gay didn't have anything to do with you being molested. But you do know that the molestation itself, can we talk about how this made you feel? How did you feel?
I felt like I knew exactly what I was going to be. I just didn't want to be the way I wanted to be, the way I wanted to be. I mean, I wanted to be someone with class, some kind of dignity, but I didn't take that dignity in me because I went downstairs every day after school and I had sex with those boys.
And you feel like that made you have less dignity?
I have more dignity in myself now than I did before because I'm older now.
Okay, and can I ask, how do you feel being molested affected your life?
Being molested that affected my life was that I like children. I love children. And I always wanted to have at least one.
Welcome back, Michelle. Thank you so much for being back on the show.
Thank you very much.
Again, I'm so excited about this topic, man abuse, talking about male abuse. I'm just really excited. I believe that there's going to be some healing with people seeing these videos. So thank you again for being here.
Thank you for airing it.
Awesome. Again, I want to still highlight what inspired you to want to empower these males who have been abused.
Well, if you think about it, it's like carrying a heavy weight. Mm-hmm. When you don't tell anybody, mm-hmm. It just grows and grows and grows, and you carry it with you, and you think that it's not affecting your life, but it is.
But it is.
It is affecting your life. It's affecting my life. It's affecting everyone's life that this person comes into contact with.
Yes.
And what inspired me the most was that we want to let the victims know it's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
Once you start talking about it,
yeah.
brings about a healing.
Very
it's
therapeutic.
a weight lifted off their shoulders, and that's going to empower someone else to step forward and talk about it and get some assistance and get some counseling and get the help they need mm-hmm. to work through this so that they can have a full, rich, productive life. They should not have to carry this around for forever and a day.
Exactly.
And I also want to put the predators on notice because a lot of predators have gotten away with it, so they continue to do it because there are no consequences.
Exactly.
So we want to let them know you're not going to continue to get away with it. There are consequences, and they're harsh.
Yes.
We want to. That's the next step.
Yes.
Making those consequences harsh. So you're going to think very hard before you do something like this.
Take advantage of someone, no matter their age, but especially our children. Taking advantage of someone, it's still abuse. It doesn't matter if they're male or female, or adult or child. When it's unwanted, and it's still abuse. So thank you so much for collaborating with me and bringing this project to the public and making it aware that there is male abuse abuse, because
Yes.
some people do not take it serious.
They don't. And like I said, one of the participants that, as a result of personal reasons, couldn't come forward, he was saying that when he did speak about it, they were laughing.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you lucky dog.
Exactly.
Because his abuser was a female. So they were like, oh, well, you didn't enjoy it? That's not the point. The point
Yes.
is that it was unwanted. It was
Yes.
something that should not have been done.
At all. At all.
So
let's talk about Alan. And in his video that we just watched, he talked about always knowing that he was gay.
Yes.
He talked about I love this long, luxurious pink hair
Yes.
that he used to wear. But what were your thoughts about this? Just in hearing that, like he just said, I always knew. What were your thoughts when you first heard that?
Well, we had lengthy conversations before, and he said that not only did he know, he said everyone knew.
Yeah.
Everyone in his family knew that he was the way he was, because he never hid it.
Yeah.
He never tried to hide it.
Yeah.
He always wore the pink luxurious hair.
He said, I played with dolls.
He played with dolls,
G.I.
not G.I. Joes, and you could tell there was a way about him that was, but in saying that, he felt like that's why he was targeted.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yes, he felt like that's why he was targeted, was because he wore the pink hair, and that he had his sexual orientation appeared to be different than what
others.
he should have been.
Yeah.
Yes, and to this day, I said to him, he's getting counseling, so hopefully he can work through that and recognize that was irrelevant.
Exactly.
That was irrelevant.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that we want to put people on notice and let them know, that the sexual orientation is irrelevant to abuse.
Yes.
Again, abuse is still abuse. It doesn't matter if it's female or male, or if that person has orientation towards being homosexual or heterosexual. Abuse is still abuse. And so a lot of people think that if a person has those things going on, or if they're older and they say that they are gay, that puts them more in a place of being taken advantage of.
And that's definitely not true. I have recently, in doing this research, I found out, I came across some military statistics, in that in the military you have young men that are being sexually abused, by higher ranking officials, and not saying nothing. There was a gentleman, I think it happened in 2009, where he came home from the service and everyone wondered what was wrong with him. And what it was is that he got drunk one night and he was sexually abused. And he was raped.
Yeah.
And he never said anything, and he ultimately took his life.
Yeah.
He took his own life.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate ultimate consequence of some of these things. And that's why we want people to find freedom and break free from shame and share their story. And not just with the military, but you hear stories about this all the time in college campuses,
yes,
in these fraternities, in the school system, obviously, even with religious settings. So it's not in one location. Abuse, there is no one particular set of person that can be abused. And so we want to educate people so that it doesn't happen to you or to your child or someone you know and love. Next thing that really broke my heart was when he said, you were asking him about what he lost, and he said, I lost my dignity. And that's like huge to me, because I do like a whole series on dignity and finding your dignity. Your dignity is your worth. Like, that's huge to me.
Yes.
So when someone says to me, I felt like I lost my worth, like it broke my heart for me to hear Alan say that, that he felt worthless. I'm not even sure if he really knew how significant, when he was talking about what he took from me, he took my dignity away from me, and I also heard that he lost a part of his manhood. In part of the video, we hear him say one of the things that he always wanted to have at least one child.
Yes.
And he felt like he wasn't able to have that in his life. He's 50 now, so even though he can still have kids, but in his mind, he feels like I can't have that.
Well, for him, like I said, he has had this in him. He hadn't told anyone for years and years and years. So now, once he's starting to see the healing process, starting to feel the healing process, maybe that's something he might address later.
Yes.
You know, that's something he might, because he does say that he does know a woman that would be willing.
Someone.
Yes, he knows a woman that would be willing to experience that with him. But I think right now he's in transition, so he sees the light at the end of the tunnel, but he's, he's still, still in bondage.
And I want to empower Alan and those who are watching that, you are worth it. You are worthy. You have not lost your dignity. Your dignity is you. Your worth is already there. No one can take that away from you. No one can give it to you.
Yes.
I want you to know that you are worthy. And as you work through the things that you're going through, there are so many options to helping others, whether it be having a child of your own, or maybe mentoring other young men, or just sharing your story. Let this be the beginning of a new start for you.
Yes.
So one of the things that, I want him to feel like a man, and he's seems like a great guy. And I want you to know that, no one can take away your manhood. People can try, but they can't. And you are worthy. We want you to really know that. Another thing I wanted to focus on was asking you, what else do you feel like he lost due to this molestation and abuse? Because he really kept focusing on, I lost my dignity. But were there other things that you feel like he lost along the way that he couldn't articulate?
Yes, there was innocence lost. There was he developed a lack of trust, a lack of trust behind that, and the secret that he had to carry with him. When you carry something like that, all of your relationships are affected because there's that wall there.
Yeah.
He's only willing to go but so far.
Exactly.
And he has expressed that he's met people that could have been great friends, but because of the lack of trust, he couldn't go but so far. So he lost an innocence. He lost the opportunity to have a childhood, a healthy childhood. He lost that opportunity, and he feels it now.
Yeah.
He feels like he's totally missed something. And what I was trying to express to him is that you can't, it's difficult. It was a difficult time, but now you have to move forward.
Exactly.
Your life is not over.
Exactly.
And like you said, your dignity, you still have your dignity.
It's yours.
Yes, no one can take it from you. No one can take it from you.
It's yours. Let's talk about the sexual orientation a little bit more and spread some truth. I want to say a couple of things. When it comes to abuse and sexual orientation, we already have said this, but there's no clear-cut evidence that such will lead directly to a boy being gay.
That's right.
Number two, whether he is gay, straight, or bisexual, a boy's sexual orientation is neither the cause nor the result of the sexual abuse. And by focusing on the abusive nature of the sexual abuse rather than the sexual aspects of the interaction, it becomes easier to understand that sexual abuse has nothing to do with a boy's sexual orientation. And we'll talk more about RAINN, RAINN, the research that they've done, and you can also pull that up on their website. I really believe that Alan, does a great job of telling his story.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Again, I want to thank him so much, and I thank you for letting us collaborate on this and bringing this information out. I want you to keep advocating. How can someone reach you and support your work in the community? Okay,
well, I'm doing a life skills workshop. I'll be doing it at Mount Olive Baptist Church. That's at 310 North Birdneck Road. That's in Virginia Beach, Virginia. 23451. The first workshop will start November 4th. It's a 12-week program. Please contact me, Michelle Howard, at 757-425-1599. That's 757-425-1599. And this workshop is going to assist individuals who are seeking employment, to learn to manage their finances, to set realistic goals, to learn how to communicate effectively. It's going to change so many things in your life, and you're going to go on to do amazing things. So please take advantage of this life skills workshop.
Okay, and that's so awesome. Now, how many weeks did you say it was?
It's a 12-week program.
Okay.
It's a 12-week program.
Okay. And who do you want to come to this program?
I want people to come that if you're looking to change your career, if you're looking for a career, if you're looking to learn how to manage your funds, if you're looking to grow, spiritually, emotionally, this is the workshop for you. We're teaching healthy self-esteem, effective communication, and everyone needs to know how to manage their money.
Yes.
Everybody needs to know how to manage their money. And to go on an interview, what to do in an interview, how to get that job, finding your spiritual flow.
Yes.
We're encompassing a whole lot. That's why it's 12 weeks, but it will change you. Once you leave this program, you're going to go out and know that you can. There's nothing you cannot do.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, I don't know if you mentioned this. Is there a cost?
Yes. There is a cost. It's $24.
Okay.
It's like $2 a workshop.
And will they pre-register or?
Yes, that's why I'm asking them to contact me first. And then you would come in, you would fill out an application, and it'll be a small interviewing process. And just come on in. Just come on in, and if you register early, you can get your seat now. You can get your seat now.
I think that's wonderful. I support you wholly in what you're doing. And those of you who are, maybe you have some extra time, maybe in between jobs, and you're looking for something to sort of enhance. I have people all the time email me their resume, my former students. It's like, can you look over this? Like, I'm not getting the jobs that I want. I'm not getting any feedback. This is a great opportunity while you're maybe in between jobs, or you're wanting to get out of that one that you really don't like. Take the time to see, do I need to update my resume? What's missing? What's going on with me?
And that's what the Life Skills program does. What you do is you start focusing on your strengths, then you start thinking about what you need to build on those strengths, and then see how you can turn that into employment.
Exactly. So take advantage of this opportunity with Ms. Michelle Howard. Give her a call, email her, just contact her so that you can reach your dreams. We're all about sort of changing lives here at It's Life Changing with Dr. Carlita Perry.
There you go.
So again, I want to give her a hand again, Ms. Michelle Howard.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching It's Life Changing. We'll be right back. It's now time for our community resources. I'm so excited to have on the show Pastor Akeem Walker. Give him a hand. Welcome to the show, Pastor Walker. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, you have done a lot. Our topic for this whole month, our theme is man abused. We've been talking about the underreported story, those type of things. So I want to hear what you have to say about that, because I feel like you have something to say, But before we do that, I want to introduce you all to Pastor Akeem Walker. Tell us a little bit about who you are.
My name is Akeem Walker, obviously. I'm a Suffolk native.
Okay.
I went to school in Suffolk, graduated from Lakeland High School.
Okay.
I did undergraduate work at Virginia University of Lynchburg, Norfolk Seminary and College. I have a master's degree in preaching from Richmond, Virginia Seminary.
Beautiful.
I have a master's degree in Christian education and a master's of divinity from Virginia Union University, which is the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology. And I'm currently working on my Doctor of Ministry degree.
I was going to say, you may as well just have a doctorate.
So,
you can't have those masters without getting a doctorate. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I love education. I promote it because knowledge is truly power. And being a pastor and all that you do in the community, it's important to be able to help others by giving them the not only the wisdom that we have, but the education as well. But also, you've been busy doing some other things. So in talking to you, I know that you have a little bit of background in working with young men who have been abused as well, because you did some work at one of the local residential facilities during your studies.
Right. So part of my work has been community outreach and social services in some form, whether it been the private sector or public. Working at one of the residential treatment facilities, I work with ages 8 to 10 who were sexual predators at 8 to 10 years old. And working there really helped shape my thought process of how distant and silent the church was from the societal issues.
Interesting.
I think the best way to put it, in 1896, American psychologist William James, penned this quote about being cut dead. And he talks about every human being wants to be noticed.
Yes.
And when they go unnoticed, they act out because I would rather be dead than overlooked deliberately.
Yes.
And so working with, I couldn't imagine, at that time I was probably 22, 23, working with 8-year-olds that were in no uncertain terms a mental or prison institution for being molestors.
Yes.
Only to discover that they only reciprocated
what
happened to them, and the adult is out free, but because they were the ones who acted out, they're now the victims or of circumstance, and they become the criminals only by repeating what happened to them.
And that truly helps me to have compassion for people. So when I do work in the community, at the schools and the prisons, and people say, how can you deal with that person? You know, how can you talk to that person? How can you counsel that person? Because I don't see just people on the outside. I see people's pain. I see what people have been through. Now I'm smart enough to, you know, pick and choose who I deal with on a regular basis, but I don't let that keep me from going anywhere. And I'm not afraid to go anywhere because I can see past people's pain. I tell my students, they were telling me in an internship class, they were like, oh, I went in this place and it was like a drug abuse class. I'm like, oh, that's nothing. You know, she was like, you know, they were kind of looking at me kind of funny. Well, they'll do that. They're people. You know, there's no need for you to be afraid. But when you can see past people's outside appearance and what they've been through, many of us, we look good, but it's only because we have been through some things, but we don't allow our outside to show our pain. But other people, they can't help it. They can't help it. It's in their outward appearance. It's in their actions. And so, you know, I'm going to have you back and we'll talk about some other things. But today, I want to also highlight just great things that, you know, you've been doing. Not only have you all these wonderful degrees, but also you are a pastor of a church right now. Right?
So I pastor First Baptist Church in Powellsville, North Carolina, which is in the big city of Ahoskie, North Carolina, right? But I also work at 6 Mount Zion Baptist Temple in Hampton with Dr. Jerome Barber. I am the pastor of ministry development.
Beautiful.
That church is a much larger church. Maybe boasts 1,500 members. So I work right hand with him, overseeing the young adult population and all of the ministry training aspects. So
that seems perfect for you. You know,
I love it.
Youthful leader, take charge, change lives.
I love it.
That's what I see when I look at you.
I love it.
And speaking of that, you know, he's written a book, and so I want him to talk a little bit about his newest book. And so I think you brought a copy. You can show people.
I do. Actually, it was just released a month ago. This book, not because I wrote it, pushes the envelope from church. Most people don't know this about me, but I am a psycho-spiritual preacher.
Yes.
Or I attempt to be.
Yes.
What that really means, I like to merge theology with psychology.
Yes.
And when I looked when God gave, let me go back. I was 90% done with my first book. It had already gone to the editors, and on the last chapter, I called the editor. It was like the Lord told me, this is not the one. So I literally wrote this book in 60 days. Because there was no connection between the world and the church. We make the assumption that because I'm saved, I lose all my cool points. That's not the case.
I'm cool.
Right. If you notice in the text when they're about to come arrest Jesus, Peter cuts the man's ear off. Jesus does not say to Peter, throw the sword away. He says, put it up. Because we live in the constant tension of balance. So why can't you be saved and sexy? Why can't you be a man that loves God and not be a homosexual?
Exactly.
So I think the church has to create that conversation.
Or just a man who loves other men. Who wants to support them, who wants to embrace them, hug them, you know, be a part of their growth. Right.
So this book came about Elvon, who's an R&B singer. I was driving in my car one day and my radio just happened to be on 95.7. Just slipped.
Were they playing play Christian
Yeah,
songs.
they do. But,
I want to note that.
I was listening to 95.7 and this song came on and the girl was talking about a refill and the chorus says, I feel like a girl that's been at the bar too long, can't stand up. I should be gone, but I can't just get enough. So
Yeah.
this young girl is longing for a relationship
Yes.
with a man. And instantly my mind went to the woman at the well.
Yes.
And how she goes to the well
Okay.
and she says, give me a drink. And Jesus says, well, here's the problem. If I give you a cup, when this runs out, you're
Yeah.
going to get thirsty
Exactly.
again. And my generation, I think, and I'm not just talking about age, I'm talking
Yeah.
about the demographic of Christians, we're raising a generation of empty Christians.
We are.
So we go after stuff. So I got the house,
Yes.
I got the car, and we minimize the blessings of
Yes.
God to materialistic stuff.
Yes.
But you can have all of that, and how many Christians go home depressed
Yes.
and
Come
struggle
to church
come to
depressed.
church depressed, but we shout because we got stuff.
Exactly.
So this really book merges The Woman at the Well with Elvana, and I take 30 days and I walk people through a refill. And I really think if people get this book, it will really refill them in every dry place.
I love it.
And Dr. Jamal Bryant from Baltimore, Maryland did the foreword.
Okay.
It's been a great, it's only 30 days in,
Okay.
and we're about 300 copies in, so I'm excited.
I think that's exciting. It's a beautiful thing, and I applaud you and your work and wanting to give people a refill, because people, I always say, are searching for something, and they're always searching on the outside. They're looking in these external places. They're looking on TV, and they're looking sometimes in the bedroom and in these clubs and different places. It's not even about the place, but it's the fact that they're looking for something.
Right.
And even in the church, there are people who are searching. They're clinging to the pastor. They're clinging to being on every board and every committee. Everywhere you go, people are searching for something.
Absolutely.
And so I love that you're giving them a refill, something on the inside, as I call it, something that they can get that's going to hold them a little bit longer. Now, where can people get a copy of the book? How can they get in touch with you?
Real quick, my website is www.akeemwalkerministries.org.
Okay.
And I'm on all social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you look me up, I'm there.
I tell people I'm Googleable, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm also going to post his information so you have it, and so they can purchase a copy of the book there. And I look forward to having you back to have more conversations with you on different topics, because I love the psycho-spiritual piece. And the interesting thing is I had not received your bio when we met, and I actually first seen you, I could only make it to one night of the revival that you did at Oak Grove. And I wanted to come, and then we were supposed to do something else together. And I was like, just God put in my spirit, you need to connect with him. And when I started working on this male series, I was like, I would like him to be there. So when you sent me the bio, I love the psycho-spiritual, because people ask me what I do, I say it's psycho-spiritual. And that's my blend of me.
Right.
That's who I am. And so many people, in psychology, they think that there can be no spirituality. There can be-
Absolutely.
well, then who am I? And so thank you so much for sharing who you are
Thank
and
you
the
for
wonderful
having
things that you do. Get a copy of his book, Can I Get a Refill, by Pastor Akeem Walker. Give him a hand. And again, thank you so much. I want all of you to remember to live your best life starting today. You can reach me at 1-877-789-3201. If you want more resources, you can go on our YouTube page, where I'll be posting all of our community resources. But again, God bless you, and thank you so much for watching. It's life-changing.